It's very easy to understand why we get so excited about the holiday of Pesach, Passover. We were slaves to that vicious master, Pharaoh, Paro, and God freed us. It's tougher to understand why we get excited about the holiday of Shavuot, because 50 days after getting freed from slavery to Paro, we became slaves to a new master, to God. We received the Torah with all the laws that we must obey as God's slaves. So what happened? We got traded from one master to another, changed jerseys, went from a last place to a first place team, better training facilities, nicer, kinder owner. Is that all? So to answer that question, I want to share with you a fantastic story that I heard recently from a friend. He was skiing in Park City, Utah, met a local, said to him, "What do you do for a living?" The guy said, "I'm the manager of the nicest house in Park City." My friend said, "What house?" He said, "It's a house that's unbelievable. It was bought for $40 million several years ago, and I manage it." My friend said, "What does that mean?" He said, "Well, I drive every day from my house about 30 miles away in a car that the owners lease for me. And each day I replace the fresh squeezed orange juice and the flowers and the fruit and the vegetables. And I flush all the toilets in the house. And I take back the old juice and flowers and fruit and vegetables because they're still pretty good. And I keep that for myself." And my friend said, "Well, what do you do the rest of the day?" He said, "I ski. They get me a full season ski pass." My friend said, "It sounds like a great job. If you don't mind me asking, what do they pay you for that job?" And the guy said, $100,000. My friend said, "Wow. Can I ask you one more question? How often do the owners visit?" And the guy said, "They bought it 4 years ago and they haven't visited yet." Now think about that story. The owners are presumably billionaires. It's a vacation home. They probably have homes all over the world, New York, London, Paris, Dubai, who knows where. But it's hard to imagine the owners hiring someone and telling them, "We want you to change the flowers and the juice and the fruit and the vegetables every single day because we might show up unannounced without telling you." I think it's much more likely that the person who set up that job and its description, hired the manager, was the owner's PA, personal assistant, whose job it is to make sure that everything in the owner's life or lives runs smoothly. And the PA may have said, "I don't know when the owner or owners are going to go for the first time. They may go on a moment's notice without enough warning. So I'm going to hire somebody, get him a car, get him a ski pass if he needs that, pay him $100 large, and make sure that he changes all those things every single day so that if the owners ever decide to show up, it'll be perfect." And now we can understand the difference between working as slaves to Paro versus as slaves to God. When you're a slave to Paro, to Pharaoh, you're not thinking, "What can I do for my master today?" You're thinking, "How can I keep out of the crosshairs? What's the least I can do just to get through the day without getting beaten or tortured?" And Paro is not thinking of, "What can I do for my wonderful Jewish slaves today?" He might be thinking, "What can I do to them, but not for them?" But when you're a slave to God, you wake up in the morning and you're thinking, "What can I do for God? How can I make sure that things are perfect?" And he makes it easy for us because he tells us. He gives us the Torah, which tells us exactly how we're supposed to act towards him and towards each other. And he tells us, "I want you to do it with a smile plastered on your face. Not a fake one, a real one. I want you to serve me enthusiastically." And we know that at the same time we're trying to make sure that we do everything that he'd like so that everything is perfect for him. He's doing everything that we need. Maybe not what we want, but what we need. Everything that happens to us, from the moments of incredible fist-pumping, high-fiving joy to moments of uncertainty or despair or terror or pain. Sometimes he does things to reward us or applaud us or hug us or show us how much he loves us. But other times he does things to warn us or to mold us or scold us or to make sure that we get lessons and improve. But everything he does at any given time, good, bad, in between, good seeming, bad seeming, in between seeming, is all what we need, what's best for us at that moment. And so on Shavuot, when we re-accept the Torah, we remind ourselves of how freeing it is to be slaves to God, the ultimate master. We should want only what's best for him, serving him with a smile, while he does everything that's best for us. Have a wonderful Shavuot.